It says that every person in Fontaine is born with sin. No matter how the nation of justice holds trial after trial, this sin cannot be absolved. Until one day, the water levels in Fontaine will rise, and the sinful people will slowly be drowned. In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain, weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
Huh?
Now's my chance!
Huh. That was weird.
Huh? Your vision? You're seriously just giving it away?
Vache.
What's wrong?
Vache. Vache.
No, Paimon didn't say anything. Are you hearing things? Oh, these should be our seats. Come on, let's sit down. Hey, Traveler. Maybe we should strike up a conversation with the person next to us. Since we're sitting together and the rest of the place is practically empty still, it's kinda awkward if we don't say anything. Oh, you little... Of course you put this on Paimon.
Excuse me, I did not realize you felt awkward. I am terribly sorry.
I would be perfectly happy to chat with you if that is what you would like.
Oh, so you heard all of that, did ya? Boy, you sure have good ears. Paimon thought she was keeping her voice down. Wait, that's not it, Paimon's. Sorry. Paimon's the one who was being rude, talking under her breath like that. So, let's talk, but, what should we talk about? Oh, Paimon's got it. You're also here early and sitting in the front. Are you a friend of Linny's, too?
A friend, you say? Well, if Mr. Linney would like to be my friend, I would be more than happy to reciprocate.
Oh, so you're not friends with Linny, then. Oh, this is getting more... Nice to meet you! Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler! We just arrived in Fontaine.
It is an honor to meet you two. I have heard of your deeds across Tevat. And as required by proper etiquette, I will also introduce myself.
Oh, Monsieur Nervillet, what an honor it is to have you here to see my show.
Ah, Mr. Linney. I should say it is in fact an honor for me to see your performance in person.
Wait, Nervillet?
Hmm? I saw you all chatting just now, but it seems you still don't know who Monsieur Nervillet is. Allow me to introduce you to Fontaine's Chief Justice. That seat is always reserved for him. It wouldn't be too much to say that he's the symbol of justice and honesty here in Fontaine.
Whoa! Sorry for being so rude just now. Paimon had no idea you were such an important person.
No offense taken. Being Chief Justice is merely what I do for work. Nearly every person has their usual reserved seat, so I'm not so special, really. And by the way, I should probably let you know, even though I would prefer not to. There's someone sitting up there in the VIP seats that has been striking a pose for quite a while now. I believe she is trying to give you a most elegant and impressive first image. So I think you should take notice of her sooner rather than later. Otherwise...
Huh? Oh, it's Farina, the Hydro Archon.
Very good. That is for the best. No need to pay her any more attention. We may now enjoy the show.
Huh? So is this what things are like between the Chief Justice and the Hydro Archon?
All right, please wait just a moment longer. I've pretty much finished my preparations, and the performance will start as soon as the audience has made their way to their seats.
Yay! The show's finally about to... Oh! They're dimming the lights! The show must be starting! Sorry. Paimon will try to stay quiet.
Welcome, one and all, to the Opera Epiclese. I am the star of today's show, Linny. And over here is my sister, Lynette, who will be working as my wonderful assistant. Please,
Hello, everyone.
A magician's greatest skill is making things disappear or appear. The possibilities are endless. Huh? But this isn't what you came for. These little tricks, you've seen them all before. So it's time for something truly extraordinary, don't you think? This one's a little tricky. Using this water tank, I shall make my sister vanish completely, right before your very eyes. It's actually quite simple. She'll just turn into air bubbles and float right out of the top. Oh no! I told them to check all the props carefully. With the lid on, even air can't escape. An amateur magician would be getting very nervous right around now. Luckily, it's me on stage, so let me show you what a true virtuoso can do. Lynette, are you still there? Don't go too far. We don't want to use up all our magic.
Hi, I'm back.
Uh-huh.
Whoa! What in the world just happened? How did he do that? Hyman didn't see him do anything. Wasn't Lynette inside the water tank? How did she disappear and then reappear out of nowhere?
If we could see easily through his tricks, and to appreciate
Guess you're right.
Thank you everyone. But our magical journey has only just begun. I've prepared even more astonishing surprises. The magic of transformation and disappearance can go far beyond what you've just seen. I'm sure many of you, in which case, So, for my next trick, I will please, if my assistants could... There are 2 boxes, and only 2 boxes. One is here, and one... I'm sure many of our lucky audience... Now please, everyone pay very close attention to the box you see here.
Wow! Hey, do you think this is all magic tricks, or does Lenny have actual super...
The lucky audience member will be generated. It selects numbers entirely at random. Now then, let's begin. Let me see. Oh, row 7, seat 3. Congratulations! You now have the chance to experience magic firsthand for an entire minute.
10!
Almost there now. Whew. Swapping 2 people is harder work than you might think. Even a master magician like me can't guarantee I'll get it right the first time. Hey, wait! Is this the back one? I can't tell. They both look the same inside. Huh? No, that's not it. I'll try again.
7!
Hey, slow down! Honestly!
5! 4! 3!
Whoops! That doesn't count!
0!
Ta-da!
What happened? Huh? Is this part of the show? Mr. Lenny, you're going to use magic to fix the stage now, right?
What happened?
Oh no. Maybe this isn't part of the show. The girl was still in that box, right?
This performance is over. Medical staff with me. Guards, secure the scene and detain all the performers. Seal the exits. No one is allowed in or out at this time.
Yes, that's right. If this was just an accident, then we must investigate the cause.
No need to be alarmed, you two. We'll get to the bottom of this soon enough. Unfortunately, the person who is in the magic box has been pronounced dead. His name was Cowell, one of the assistants in Linny's magic troupe. Apparently, the fireworks on stage ignited the ropes that were suspending the water tank, which then caused the tank to fall onto the stage. As of now, we are still not sure why we found Cowell in the box, rather than the guest from the audience. And after an initial search of the area, the guards have confirmed that the girl is nowhere to be found. It appears that this incident was, and there are many indications.
That's the case that Charlotte mentioned before!
I say that our powerful magician, Mr. Linny, is now the prime suspect for the serial disappearances case.
Huh? Why me? This whole thing was an accident.
No, this all occurred during your magic show, did it not? The missing girl disappeared after being chosen, did she not? The deceased is one of your assistants, is he not? Now that I think about it, that
can't be right! He was in the box on the stage the entire time! We can even hear his voice! Besides, before the show, he told us that he would like to catch the criminal behind the disappearances! He couldn't possibly mean catching himself!
Save discussion for a later time, please. Lady Farina, may I assume that your comments just now constitute an accusation against—
Huh? But what Lady Farina said just now—
A kidnapping and murder carried out under the—
That's right. I mean you, Traveler. You'll support Linny, won't you? But with Linny. So, no more draws. Between the two of us, there must be a clear winner and—
It wasn't a—
I understand. Well, Traveler, seems Lady Farina has set you in her sights. Are you willing to act as Mr. Linny's attorney and defend him? Very well. The trial will be held a day from Linny, and the audience may be—
A day isn't—
Linny!
Sorry about everything that happened.
Of course!
Yeah, I know you already claimed that you would defend me, but now it's just us I understand. I'm sure I don't know whether— As for how that— Even a skilled and knowledgeable—
Which is precisely why we need to investigate! As this book says, the impossible could not have happened. Whatever happened must have been that which is possible. Paimon bought them when we— Don't worry.
I think they look—
You have good taste, Lynette!
That's the right attitude. But with the guards, good thing you agree.
Yes, thank you so much.
And I, Navia, have the honor of being its renowned president.
I'm Silver, her attendant. Pleased to meet you.
What do we do? The whole situation is so good plan.
Just relax. Even if everyone else— Besides,
Thanks, Navia.
best of luck to you.
Ah, finally, you're back. Well, how did your investigation go?
To be honest, you might be disappointed.
No. We're already very grateful that you were willing to help.
Well now, don't you all look disappointed? Don't tell me that your investigation came up empty-handed. That was to be expected, of course. The guilty can never produce proof of their innocence. But don't let that stop you. I shall be terribly disappointed should you, my most anticipated foe, concede so easily.
Since both parties are present, I declare that the trial regarding the magic show— Firstly, in order for the audience to understand the causes and results of the incident, could we please have Mr. Linny explain the trick?
Yes, of course. I will explain while Lynette demonstrates on stage.
Thank you, Mr. Linny. In that case, I take your statement to be that you ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick began, and thus could not have committed the crime. Is this correct?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
In that case, I call upon the prosecution. Lady Farina, do you wish to refute his statement in any way?
Why, of course I do. Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Linney is clearly lying. There is no way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell. In fact, I'd say you were hardly in that tunnel at all.
That is simply your hypothesis based on the presumption that I'm guilty.
Oh, is that so? And if I may ask, what did you hear while you were inside your box?
The roaring countdown of the crowd, of course. That's how I kept track of the time and built anticipation for the finale.
And you didn't hear anything else at all? Nothing that might leave an impression of any kind?
No, nothing.
I see. But when the count reached 30 seconds or so, there was a thud. One so loud that I believe practically everyone heard it.
Huh?
Hey, hang on! Something's not right here.
Yeah, I'm sure he could have heard a noise that loud from inside the box.
I was right by the box, and I definitely heard the thud.
Look at those scales. Could those mean...
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to use the words of the magician himself. You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. Indeed, it seems his alibi can also collapse in the blink of an eye. Of course, I have armed myself to do far more than smash your alibi. Confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundations are rock solid. Tell me, aren't you and Lynette actually from the House of the Hearth?
The House of the Hearth?
No wonder they did something like this.
So the serial disappearances were the Fatui's doing. Now it all makes sense.
I've got a feeling that what happened on stage probably wasn't just an accident.
That's irrelevant. Our identities have nothing to do with what happened.
Indeed. Then perhaps you could tell us everything that happened during that 1 minute. Your first priority is to prove yourself innocent, after all. I'm sure there is little that needs to be kept secret now. Unless your script already has holes in it. The Outlander is speechless. My, oh my, don't they look flabbergasted? Now comes the infighting and discord, I suppose. This was almost too easy. Good thing I made all those preparations. Seems the all-nighter I pulled last night is really paying off.
Hey, Linny! Why didn't you tell us this before?
Order! Order! Mr. Linney, allow me to re-establish the facts. Lady Farina has raised 2 points. First, when the thud was heard in the Opera House, you were neither in the box nor the tunnel. Second, you and Ms. Lynette are both members of the House of the Hearth. Are these claims true? Please answer my question, Mr. Linney.
I'm sorry. Yes, they're true, Your Honor.
I knew it!
Well, that's it. We might as well move on to the sentencing already.
What should we do now?
Granted. In that case, what is your request?
Is that really necessary? They're already as good as guilty.
The defendant deceived their own attorneys. What is there left to discuss?
Order! Order, I say! Your request is reasonable, and we shall adjourn. This trial will reconvene in 1 hour.
So you would stick to Mr. Linney's defense even after knowing what you do now? You certainly have more professionalism than I thought. In that case, my dear audience, let's allow the joy of victory to steep for a little while longer.
Well, this is awkward. I didn't think the Hydro Archon would dig all that up. I'm sorry, Traveler and Paimon.
Yeah, sorry.
Paimon, we based our entire not to set the...
I'm very I know you've... But our organ...
Right now, we want to see...
That's right. I knew if it weren't... That's why I didn't... The truth is very important, but being completely transparent about everything would see us spending more effort than we need to. Right. You met a but still...
Sorry.
Well, you both say that, but... Right.
Of course. We've been trying to find... During our from that moment...
Is that why you needed a...
That's right. So, after...
That air vent was created during the
Well... What should have been that voice seemed on the way back. After that...
Well, that explains why you didn't hear the...
Because of that
That's the only way we...
So, it was never my way. But, like I said...
Well, Traveler, you decide. Paimon will follow your lead however you choose.
Okay.
Thanks for giving us...
The current problem is that if we want to refute the Hydro Archon's act... Huh?
Lenny did not take part in the underground altercation. He only witnessed traces of the aftermath. Lenny went to the... According to Lenny...
Attention! Ace Detective Paimon has something to say! When the countdown started, Lenny did indeed go into the tunnel. But he immediately used a vent to access the Opera House basement, which is where the underground core of the Oratrice is stored. Once he reached that area, he heard a voice in what should have been an empty room. Since he felt something was amiss, he returned immediately. The crime scene had already developed by the time he reached the tunnel again, and in order to complete the magic trick, he did not remain there for any length of time. Finally, he reached the surface, and that was when the accident happened from his point of view. Therefore, he's innocent! Huh? That can't be right. Are you serious? The killer was, in fact, Cowl, the deceased! Oh, Paimon gets it! It all comes together if Halsey disappeared instead of being kidnapped. Lynette escaped from the water tank, vanishing gradually and leaving only clothes behind. If there's a similar method where a person could be transformed into water... It's Ace Detective Paimon's time to shine again! In the original plan, Cowl would tamper with the water tank rope, and the number selector securing his target. When the magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the box. When the balloon attached to the box popped, the water from the primordial seed inside it would pour down and dissolve Halsey. Afterward, Cowell would enter the tunnel and break the flower vase to conceal the water inside the tunnel, with the remaining evidence being covered up by the water tank on stage. But he encountered something unexpected in the tunnel, and wound up being fatally hit by the same water tank he meant to use to cover his tracks.
Huh. That does make sense.
That actually links together a lot of the more confusing pieces of evidence.
Oh dear, what do I do? Even I think they sound convincing now. Have I falsely accused an innocent person? What a humiliation.
Now, it seems like the only point of contention remaining is the exact circumstances that led to Cal's death. His notes mentioned he had an accomplice who could be related to the situation.
On that note, the guards have just contacted me indicating that they uncovered new evidence. I shall now invite him on stage to share it with us.
Thank you, Your Honor. We were just inspecting the luggage of the other people involved in this case. And we found an identical sample.
What?
That can't be.
Oh, I see. Well, how does this not clear all doubt? My dear citizen... Linny did not need to take part in the dissolution of the young woman at all. Indeed, he did leave the scene via the vent. Having made modifications to the props beforehand, his accomplice Cowell then caused Halsey to vanish using the water from the primordial sea. But upon his return, in cruel avarice, Linny desired sole credit and prepared to do away with his partner in crime. Ultimately, he knocked Cowell out, and the tool meant to cover the crime up also became a murder weapon. Now, as much as I regret having come to such a viciously straightforward conclusion, it does seem that the famed Fatui is quite the cold-blooded and ruthless organization. Am I right, Mr. Linny?
We've used up all the evidence we collected. There's no way for us to make a rebuttal here. Is this the end of the road?
Oh no! Paimon can't think of anything either. It doesn't look like there's any way around this. Seems using the water as new evidence was too good a move.
Don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirection, isn't it? But once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth to them once again? And wouldn't such a trick be the most marvelous finale to today's performance? Come on, Linny and Lynette. Give it another go. Don't worry. Spina di Rasula has made the necessary arrangements on your behalf. But, as the magic makers and stars of the show, I think I should leave the final performance to you.
I understand.
And voila!
Sorry for the interruption.
Wait, isn't that Halsey? So the whole thing about people dissolving wasn't true after all?
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would lessen my sentence.
I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on trial. I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me, and then before I knew it, she caught me.
That'll teach you to underestimate us three.
Where should I begin? I'm sorry. I'm the one who killed Cowl. I admit it.
What? Why?
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian, and I'm originally from Mondstadt. I heard that Linny's show was gonna be a real thriller, but I missed the chance to buy a ticket, so I stole one. That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there, and I'd never been caught before. But I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago, and I barely got away. Linny was the one who caught me in the act.
Hey, no wonder you look familiar. So you were the thief! Linny even mentioned that you were pretty skilled.
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it, but then the number selector chose me. He even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. I thought, so I played along with the I wasn't going to take that line. There was nowhere to run from. I slipped out of—
Can a person even hide in there?
But I swear, I didn't know that the water tank— Had I known that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic box. I may be a thief, but I'm no killer.
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now, doesn't it?
This time, we need to tell the entire story from Lily-Ann's perspective. The strange sound. The flower vase. Lily-Ann was...
And it's Ace Detective Paimon time! Having been selected out of the blue, Lily-Ann panicked. Her panic only intensified after she entered the tunnel and had water poured on her head. So she kicked the door open, producing the thud we all heard. Hearing the commotion, Cowl leapt into the tunnel, only to discover that Lily-Ann had not dissolved. He did not know that Lily-Ann was not from Fontaine, but was a thief who made her way in by stealing a ticket. Mistakenly believing that the water from the primordial sea needed time to take effect, he tried to force Lily-Ann back into the box. The two broke the flower vase during the struggle, but Lily-Ann came out on top, knocking Cowl out and putting him in the box. With no way of escaping, she changed her clothes and hid in the costume trunk until the performance ended.
No, I have no further arguments. I admit defeat. But really, could you at least have left me with some dignity?
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, I shall once again repeat the full sequence of events. The actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowl, selected his next victim from the audience reservation list. With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected young woman would be chosen. To cover up any evidence while committing the deed, Cowl thought of allowing the water tank to fall, which would conceal the water left behind after the young woman was dissolved. He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to drop and hide the watermarks. He poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon during the preparation of the magic box and stuck it to the box's lid. Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door when bringing the young woman to said box. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope and bursting the balloon containing the water. If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Liliane was not from Fontaine, and thus fled the box with a loud noise. Realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met Liliane. Thinking that the waters had not yet taken effect, he decided to proceed. However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious, and placed into the magic box, and thus became his own final victim. Liliane, according to her own statements, then changed clothes and hid until the performance ended, before hiding in other parts of the opera house. As for Linny, he was in the underground structures within the opera house, and was thus ignorant of these happenings. From this reconstruction of events, we can conclude that Linny, the accused, is in fact innocent. While there is much in Linny and Liliane's conduct that should still be investigated separately, this case, at least, can be handed over to the Oratrice to make the final decision. As such, Linny and Lynette are officially declared not guilty.
Vacher? Vacher! Vacher, are you my dear Vacher? No, wait. You seem to be someone else. Do you know Vacher? Do you know where my love is? Wait. Who am I? I'm very sorry. I fear I do not know. My memories feel like they have been washed away like a flood. So many fragments dissolved amidst the tide, never to be recovered. How much have I lost? How many things that I once held dear while on land have I since forgotten? Yes, that is what I was once. But now, I am but the consciousness of one who is lost, therefore. I do not know how I came to be like this either. I only vaguely remember being covered in light blue water, and then all grew dim. I also remember going to many places. I loved adventure, loved exploring places of peril. No matter where I went, Vacher would go with me. I knew how dearly he loved me, and I also loved him equally as much. But now, we can no longer go back. The pain of such parting, I never knew how heavy it could be. No, our reunion no longer has any meaning. There is no way for us to create any new memories. The thought of me gives him no succor, so let it lie forgotten beneath the waters. If you meet Vacher, tell him not to look for me. Tell him to move on. That is the only thing I still remember. Perhaps that is so. As I was submerged in the waters, losing consciousness, I saw Vacher above the surface. His eyes were filled with such sorrow, such longing. If only I could have comforted him, told him that I did not suffer. Indeed, I had felt a great warmth. Is that what you call it? Dissolving? If anything, I consider it a form of release. It was a state of neither fear nor frenzy, with only an endless peace, like the water's still surface. I could also liken it to being a thirsty person who drinks water for the first time, and only then sees how they have lived for so long in a world of endless want and anxiety. I think I hear your companion. It's time for you to go, I think. Farewell, then. I am glad that you were able to sense my presence. Remember, if you see Vacher, tell him not to seek me out any longer.
Wake up! Come on, hurry! Navia's outnumbered!
Demoiselle, look out!
Dear God, it's a whole army of Gardamex. Chlorand? Quick, now's our chance!
Mr. Marcel, you will not require an attorney. Is that correct?
Apologies. It all just happened so quickly. I still haven't figured out what's going on. I think an attorney won't be necessary. This is probably just a misunderstanding between me and Navia.
Very well.
I would like to take everyone back to 3 years ago, to the case of Callus the Unfaithful. Only through elucidating what really happened in that case can we connect all the dots for the serial disappearances case.
Navia, do you really think that I was the one who killed your father? Come on, why would I do that? Callus was my benefactor. If that's enough to make—
I think exactly correct, Your Honor. I must refresh everyone's memory about that case before I can explain my charge and reasoning.
I see. In which case, I will recount the findings about that case as originally recorded by Maison Gardiennage. On the day of the murder, Spina di Rosula hosted a large banquet in a countryside estate owned by the Confrérie of Cabrières. During the banquet, all attending guests heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. When the guests arrived at the scene, they found the primary suspect, Callus, holding a gun, while his acquaintance, Jacques, lay dead from a gunshot wound. The guards' investigation did not recover any other firearms from the scene. As a result, they concluded that the suspect's first shot must have missed, while the second must have taken Jacques' life. The suspect did not dispute this conclusion, and also declined to defend himself in court. Instead, he chose to prove his innocence through a duel. Callus was defeated by champion duelist Chlorand in the ensuing duel, and soon succumbed to the injuries. These are the known facts about the case.
The one with the motive to kill was Jacques, not my father. And even so, Jacques... after that... However... This assassin... The testimony of the... However, unfortunately for Jacques, the true culprit had already considered this possibility and had sent out another assassin. A pile of clothing was found at the scene. The guards once believed they were used by Jacques as a costume to disguise himself. But now, it is clear that the clothes were proof that there was a third person at the scene, and that they were turned into water after committing the murder. Since it was raining that day, the culprit was confident that they could use the rain to wash away all traces of their dissolved accomplice. Realizing this, the true culprit caused the hired assassin to dissolve into water, leading everyone to believe Callus was responsible for Jacques' murder. This is the true version of events.
Ah, so that's what happened. Wait, you're telling me something as dangerous as water from the primordial sea has been used for all these years?
What a great theory.
Mr. Marcel, you are the one being charged with the crime. You should provide a rebuttal if you wish to prove your innocence.
Ah, but I think I agree with everything Navia just said. In fact, there was nothing in her speech that directly implicated me.
Then, may I ask some questions? In my opinion, we primarily need to determine two things. One, do you have the evidence to back up your claims?
I'm afraid not. At least not at this very moment.
Boo! If you don't have any evidence, you should just go home!
I may not have the evidence with me, but I know where I could go to collect it. If we look up the deserted clothes against a record of people who went missing around the same time, we should be able to find a match. Considering the serial disappearance...
That makes sense to me. Monsieur...
Maybe she's scared.
Alternatively...
My second question has to do with the ensuing duel. If the truth is indeed as you describe, then why didn't Mr. Callus explain himself in court? If he had testified that a person...
I've thought about this too. And the answer... The dissolving power. My father could have exposed it for all to see, but he chose to take it to the grave. At that time, Spina di Rosula was in dire straits, and his reputation had already been shattered. He had no guarantee that what was certain...
Boss once told...
What? If the secret had gotten out, the culprit would have fought an all-out war with Espina right there and then. Of course, the guards might eventually figure out the truth of the matter, but what good would that do? Had this opera house ever given my father any kind of confidence in its brand of justice, Spina di Rosula would have had no reason to exist. But by staying silent, I was able to become... And once I have figured out the truth and stepped up to the challenge... So... That's right.
Do you have any...
Of course. All you need... I don't need your apology, your guilt, or your support from the shadows. You don't have to do anything for my sake. But since he entrusted his will to...
Yes, I did. As a champion duelist, I've fought many battles and taken a countless number of dishonored lives. In my line of work, I've seen all kinds of people give their all for the faintest hope to continue living. Just one look, and I hereby swear on my name and honor as a champion duelist that Mr. Callus never intended to leave the ring alive.
Since that's your testimony,
I concur. However, Miss Navia, you still have not explained the link between your father's case and the serial disappearances case.
Right? What she said was fascinating, but kind of beside the point.
Wait, weren't they just talking about the serial disappearances case?
Of course, Your Honor. The two cases are connected via a matter of timing. In my father's case, the culprit intended to kill both Jacques and Callus. As a result, they planned to act after hearing 2 gunshots. And at the end of Linny's trial, the culprit also only dissolved the victim in front of everyone because they realized they were at risk of being identified. The culprit could only time their actions so precisely if they were already at the scene. Coincidentally, Marcel attended both the banquet and the trial.
So that's why you suspected me. Even after hearing your reasoning, I still can't help but find it a little preposterous. I'm used to it, though. You've always been an impulsive and sentimental child, Navia.
No need to appeal.
I won't try to... On top of that, does a person have to be physically...
I know what you can say to that.
I know that even with that, you might still think you can reduce the list of suspects with some further investigations, until I'm the only one left on the... Alas, who won't feel at least a little hurt by an accusation of murder from a girl you see as your own daughter? But if I were to dismiss, do you know what the...
I suppose you're gonna tell me anyways.
It's timing again. I'm a businessman by trade, in addition, but...
I do apologize, demoiselle.
No, it's not your fault. I'm sure.
Is there anything else you'd like to say? Would you like to check that? You can also take a look at my border entry records, or ask my friends and family when I left Snezhnaya. Could those records and testimonies do something to appease the unspeakable?
Seems like she got the...
At this rate, Navia will be convicted for falsely...
I think you've done a superb... But aren't you going... He wished for you... Once you've learned to be more considerate of others' feelings, and to stop rushing headlong...
This isn't just about me, and it never has been. The biggest difference between me and the rest of the victims is that I still have the ability to search for the truth, while that same agency has long been taken from them. The people whose families were destroyed by synth abuse, the people who lost their loved ones to the serial disappearances, and the people who suffered tragic ends due to their sense of justice. Many people's... And whose... Is it a man?
Huh.
Oh, so you do know that...
I'm merely surprised you'd suddenly say the name...
I was waiting for you to say that.
Faster? Okay, faster. Paimon thinks we need to go up, but Paimon doesn't see a way. Let's take a look around. Maybe we'll find a hidden mechanism that'll show us the way up. The water level is rising! Now we can swim to the top! But this is still a ways away from where we need to go. Rise. Now the path is clear! Let's go! Callus, Navia's father. Oh, this seems to be... This should prove the existence of the third person, right? We still have the doubt. He can act, I concur. Let's send some... Oh, seems like we've got a bunch of correspondence between the higher-ups. What's this over here? Looks like some kind of experiment. The experiment was a failure. No individual managed to resurface from the water from the primordial sea. Sorry, Traveler. Paimon will try her best. How can someone write something that terrible? You read the rest. Paimon's too scared to keep going. So that's... Wait, did he really think he'd be able to find a way just by dissolving people over and over? That's just... Huh? Isn't that the name you heard by the fountain? Paimon thought he was an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case. You mean Vacher is the one who did all of these... experiments? So that's it? No, that's not it either. If that's the case, in any case... Whoa, there's so much synth here, and so many bottles of ingredients that probably just can... Mixing and prod? Whoa, there's even fruit flavored synth? Yep. What's all this? Pink accessories, a hair tie, a necklace, even a makeup box. Oh, Paimon sees it too, but... Huh? You mean the girls... And then there were... And all the boxes of things. These names. We've looked at almost everything here, and it seems... Yeah, we haven't found anything. No wonder even Neverlet was that way. Even if we bring all this back to the opera, we won't be able to identify the true culprit. Sure thing. You take that side. Nothing at all. And Paimon can't even find snacks either. Whoa, really? Let Paimon see. Venier. Isn't it Vacher's... Then... Aw, it's just a normal diary chronicling their love story. So many. The final name, Marcel. Wait, but Marcel's pretty old.
And whose image do you... Is it a man? Oh, so you... I was... Wait, Nadia! We're back! As expected of my partner.
Just how often do you intend to flout the rules of this...
It's all right, Monsieur Neverlet. Given their confidence, I expect they've found the crucial evidence.
But the truth of it, Marcel, is that you've always been Vacher.
Huh?
We've investigated your lair. We already know everything. After your lover, Venier, was dissolved, you kept abducting young women to experiment on the hopes of bringing her back to you. You even created Marcel as a new identity and destroyed all records of your past as Vacher.
So that's it. Even the villains in opera performances rarely go that far. And with that, Marcel's motive has now been established.
This information regarding your past also dismantles your prior timing defense. Well, Marcel, do you know where you went wrong? You fixated your gaze on the lover that passed away, instead of paying attention to the living people around you. So, you never noticed how we changed, or how we grew as individuals.
You also never understood Boss's real expectations for his daughter.
Or our determination to see things through.
Your determination.
Mr. Marcel, please speak up now if you would like to defend yourself. Otherwise, the trial will move on to the next stage.
Do you really think I wanted to do any of this? Pay attention to you? What for? Have you ever paid attention to me? Ever empathized with my pain? Ever known how it feels to watch the love of your life dissolve right in front of your eyes? No one helped me. No one even believed me. All those decades ago, even the officers from the Maison Gardiennage were laughing at me. They said there's no way a human being can turn into water, so I must have gone mad for grief. Vinier's death was brushed away by all of you as if it didn't matter at all. Well, now you know, don't you? Ha! Well, it's too late now. All those who were dissolved are gone forever. You only have yourselves to blame. You set this on the opera house in pursuit of your so-called justice, your beloved drama, while turning a blind eye to the suffering of the people. Venier is dead. We promised each other that we would always be together. Wherever she goes, I will follow. But I'm not from this blasted place, so I can't be dissolved, no matter what I do.
Hey, is that water from the primordial sea that he's drinking?
I can't dissolve! Can't dissolve! Can't dissolve! Do you all see? I can't go! I can't follow! So if I can't go where she is, what choice do I have but to try to bring her back? I did all of that, and in the end, that accursed Callus still got the better of me. I spent my entire life living on pins and needles, only to get stabbed by his idiot daughter at the very end.
The suspect is exhibiting signs of mental distress. Guards, please restrain him.
Don't touch me! Don't anybody come near me! I still need to save Venier. I promise. We made a promise. Venier! Venier! Please, Venier! Don't think badly of me. All I want to do is fulfill our promise.
At this point, the verdict of this trial is clear. With Mr. Marcel's conviction, the charges against Mr. Tartaglia no longer have any basis.
Fine by me. I was in a bad mood, but after a show like that, I'm actually feeling pretty good.
Traveler, please submit all the evidence you have collected to the guards, so that I might review and summarize the truth behind the serial disappearances case. The man now known as Marcel was originally named Vacher, and worked as an adventurer with his partner and lover, Vignier. During an underwater expedition, Vignier accidentally came into contact with water from the primordial sea and was dissolved in front of Vacher as a result. Vacher learned of the primordial water's existence through the work of others and began to kidnap young women for research, with the goal of discovering a method to restore Vignier back to life. To cover his tracks, he invented the new alias of Marcel and began to operate a business in Poisson. During the course of his research, Vacher discovered that a diluted concoction of water from the primordial sea can induce feelings of euphoria, and began to manufacture and market synth. However, as he accumulated wealth to fund his continued research and expanded the scope, he came into conflict with Spina di Rosula. After exchanging blows with Spina di Rosula for many years, Vacher decided to assassinate their president Callus at a banquet. Although the assassination did not go as Vacher expected, he was able to turn Callus into the murder suspect by dissolving the assassin he sent to the scene. And just recently, Vacher attempted to frame Linny as the culprit of the serial disappearances case, using a similar method. However, his attempt to frame Linny failed, and the power of water from the primordial sea became public knowledge. This case also exposed enough of Vacher's machinations that he was eventually successfully charged in court. Thus concludes the enigmatic history of the serial disappearances case, with the truth revealed to all. The Oratrice will now deliver the final verdict regarding the charges against Mr. Vacher. According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale, Mr. Vacher is guilty.
Guards! Take Vacher away.
Good. It's what he deserves.
With that,
We really just witnessed. Yippee! We have Navia bring up. He's hurt so many innocent people, and now he's finally getting what he deserves. Huh? Are you okay?
Mademoiselle, you are absolutely... They are late, boss, and always hope for us.
Yeah. See, Papa? Spina di Rosula's still doing well with me at the helm.
Well, now, hasn't this been a most delicious piece of drama? The villain has been caught, justice has been served, past wrongs have been righted, and it's a big ol' happy ending. Since it's been such a great show, I'll just let the false accusations against me slide. Either way, I've still got some business to attend to, so if you'll excuse me...
Please wait just one moment, Mr. Tartaglia.
Oh, what now? None of this has anything to do with me.
According to court protocol, since this trial was initiated due to a charge against you, a verdict must also be made regarding the initial charge before the trial can conclude.
Oh, come on. Is this really necessary? Haven't you already caught the real criminal? Isn't it time for side characters like me to exit stage?
Please respect the laws of Fontaine. This has always been the rule.
All right, but this sure is a lot of hassle. All I need to do is stand over there, right? Let's just get this over with.
Through evidence presented in the public trial that was just held, it has been established that Mr. Tartaglia has no direct connection to the serial disappearances case. The guilty party has been identified, and thus it is logical to suppose Mr. Tartaglia is innocent of the charges. We now turn to the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale to render the final verdict on the charges. According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale, Mr. Tartaglia is guilty.
What? Hey! That's not funny! Didn't you just say I'm supposed to be innocent? What's with this verdict? Is your justice machine malfunctioning?
Huh? This has never happened before. The Oratrice actually returned a different verdict from the Chief Justice.
I mean, have you ever heard of an innocent Fatui Harbinger? Do you think the Oratrice might have just convicted him on general principle?
But weren't the charges about the serial disappearances case? No matter what else he's guilty of, it shouldn't affect the verdict in this case, right?
The judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale is, by law, the final verdict of the court. We must accept the guilty verdict. Guards, please take the suspect into custody per court protocol.
So this is how justice is done in Fontaine. What a joke. You've got your rules. Well, I've got mine too!
I am sorry. If you have been wronged, we will find the truth. But the rules of the court must be upheld.
Apologies. This is also the first time I've encountered such a situation. However, according to the rules established at the conception of Fontaine's court system, the Oratrice's judgment is the final verdict of the court. All I do is follow court procedure. As for why the Oratrice arrived at the conclusion it did, you should probably ask someone more knowledgeable than me.
Why are you looking at me? I had nothing to do with it! I don't know what happened there either! Hey, stop staring at me!
What does Lady Verena mean by that?
She says she has no idea either, but that's impossible. Didn't she create the Oratrice herself?
Yeah, so are the verdicts reliable or not? Can results like this really be called justice?
My dearest citizens, did you really think we'd allow an incorrect verdict to be handed out in this court? Did you really believe that the judgment could be mistaken, or be the result of some sort of random mishap? Don't tell me. You thought even I had been blindsided by the Oratrice's result.
But the way she looked just now, it was pretty obvious she had no idea what was going on.
However, given this and, of course, for every performance there is a script. Everything has unfolded exactly as I expected from the... If you thought Child had nothing to do with the serial disappearances case, it is only because you've been blinded by the superficial appearance of innocence. Everything he's done, not to mention the danger he poses, are beyond ordinary comprehension and completely unforgivable. All shall be revealed in time. Now, having said that, although I hate to leave things hanging in suspense, it is now time for this performance to end.
So she chose to make her escape after all, did she?
So you're saying we shouldn't put much stock into what she just said?
She probably just put on that performance to save face. As for the truth, it's unlikely that she actually has any idea. However, please be assured that I will continue to investigate this case in a personal capacity. Just as I promised, if the judgment has been incorrect, we will do our utmost to clear his name.
All right. Even though we feel pretty badly for him, we'll take your word for it for now. After all, he's done plenty of bad stuff, so he should have known he'd go to prison someday, right?
Hey, what are you doing? Quick, stop him! Traveler! Hey, Traveler!
Marcel, what are you doing over here?
Stop resisting arrest! Cease, or we'll add another charge to the list!
No, wait. I just want to ask the Traveler something. I'm not looking to run away. Please, just let me ask this one small thing.
Go on.
Thank you. I was being led away when I finally realized something. Where did you first hear the name Vacher? I erased all records of that name. So, unless...
Are you still trying to prove your innocence? Give it up, you've already been convicted.
Really? You did? You're sure? You met her? But how could that be? How did you manage to do it? The Fountain of Lucine? Then she's been so close to me all along, and I just never... Please give me a chance to talk to her again. Just let the Traveler take me to the fountain to see her one last time. This is the last request I'll ever make in my life. You can do whatever you want to me afterwards. I don't care.
What? Give an inch and you want to take a mile? Do you think serial killers get to make requests?
Paimon agrees. Why should we give him what he wants when he's already done a ton of super terrible things?
This request, is it worth as much to you as your life?
Of course. Wait, no, it's worth even more than my life.
Humans. Will they betray the instinct to live just to satisfy spirit? Very well. I will grant your request.
Your Honor, I fear that...
I will go with him. You do not need to worry about any escape.
In that case, I shall leave him in your most capable hands, Chief Justice.
Thank you. Is this the place? You said she's here, but what do I need to do to see her?
Yeah.
Vacher.
Ah!
Yes, that's it.
Vignier, it's me!
Vacher?
I'm here.
Hey, wait!
Vignier, is that you? It's me, Vacher! Vignier!
Vacher? Why did you come? Didn't I say? You don't need to look for me. You look a lot older than I remember. How long has it been?
It's been more than 20 years. I've suffered for over 20 years since the day you left. All this time, only the thought of bringing you back has kept me alive. Nothing else mattered to me. I must be dreaming. Who would have thought I'd get the chance to tell you all of my feelings like this? Vignier, you are my everything. I really don't know how I could live without you.
But Vacher, if you ask me, this world would be better off without you.
What are you saying?
If not for you, I would have finished my law degree and probably become a top-tier attorney one day. If not for you, I would have continued to pursue my love of the arts, and my works would have been displayed in the Palais Mermonia itself. If not for you, I would at least have been able to take care of my mother. And she would not have grown old and died alone, with nothing but the tears on her cheeks. It's all because of your selfishness, Vache. It's all because of you.
You... Wait, you are not Vignier. Who are you?
You're right. I am not Vignier. I am the sacrifices. Every woman who died by your hand, as our bodies dissolved, our consciousnesses flowed back to the primordial sea. Our thoughts circulated endlessly within the primordial sea, and we were no longer individuals, but we became one, just as streams of water come together in the sea. I'm Cressy. I'm Lemony. I'm Azine. The only one I am not is Vignier.
Why? But then, where is Vignier?
She doesn't want to see you anymore. Every tendril of her consciousness is avoiding you. This is what you get for your selfishness. Your selfishness robbed us of our lives and our futures. You said time and time again that you'd do any and everything for her. But did you ever consider whether she'd want to see you do the things that you did? If she would despise you for what you became? You are a liar, a heartless murderer, and a cowardly narcissist. The only thing you are not is Vignier's beloved. From the moment your first victim died and her consciousness merged with Vignier's, she has had nothing but pure hatred for you.
No! Vignier! She can't hate me. Let me see her. Please, have mercy.
You still don't understand. When I said don't look for me, that came from the real Vignier. She really doesn't want to see you anymore. But on top of that, she also said that because it's her final drop of pity for you. She said that because she knew that if you did come here, we will show no mercy to you.
Vache.
Vache? Vache. 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 Drown.
Yes, I did send someone to fetch you. But as for what I'd like to discuss next, I do indeed have something I'd like to... The situation... If I'm understanding you correctly, the Snezhnayan harbinger known as the Nay, I heard that she was a... I sincerely advise you to refuse her invitation outright. I'm sure you're aware that her purpose is most likely related to Child's recent predicament. We convicted one of the Snezhnayan harbingers in a court of law, but we have yet to provide any form of detailed report on the matter. This does indeed provide an opportunity for Snezhnaya to put pressure on us. I believe we should adopt an evasive stance until we can provide a proper explanation.
No, we shouldn't.
Oh?
Well, you see, we are the ones that owe an explanation. If we keep putting off the meeting, it's like a fight between two friends.
Though diplomatic relations between Fontaine and...
It was just an analogy.
Moreover, even if we were to talk in person, if we don't have sufficient info...
I don't think we should overthink those. Besides, you'll be at the meeting. If any problem...
I must clarify, but more importantly, when did I agree to join the meeting with you?
You mean you won't come? No, No, that won't do. I can't go to the meeting alone. You have to accompany me. I must take you with me.
Lady Farina, could there be something else?
No, not at all. Look, I am the Hydro Archon of Fontaine, Lusalor, the god of justice who is loved and adored by many. So I only hope that justice will be served in this matter.
Though it could officially be considered a diplomatic conference, I prefer to see our meeting today as an ordinary tea party. I assume you see it the same way, Miss Farina? Lady Farina?
Yes, that's right. Just like you said, a tea party. To make this tea party even...
It's a pleasure to meet you, Monsieur Neuvillette. I was born in Fontaine.
Hello. The pleasure is also mine.
First, I would like to thank the two of you. Oh, I'm not referring to... The children of the House of the Hearth are often misunderstood. All I meant to say is that Fontaine has been stable. That is...
Now then, you...
Well, yes. As we are both diplomats from Snezhnaya, as well as Fatui Harbingers, Child and I have always been caught or anything. So now, in my capacity as his...
The rules governing attorneys only apply before...
An outright refusal. Okay, why don't we back up a step? You don't need to transfer Child to us. I only request to... It's not like you couldn't even manage to fulfill a...
about that.
The Fortress of Meripede has always been completely autonomous. Even we have no authority to interfere there. However, if you absolutely must go...
The knave showed up already? We didn't even know that Lenny was from the House of the Hearth at the time, so we kinda overlooked that information.
Yes, thank you for your kind advice. I'm well aware of this. I also noticed that Lady Farina acts a little odd and unnatural.
Could the knave be...
If that were the case, then why wouldn't...
So maybe that's not...
In reality, this problem is even more thorny than it appears. According to reports from the Fortress of Meripede, Child recently disappeared under mysterious circumstances. The details are still unclear. Special guard. I was only willing to...
So this...
Yes, this was my proposal during our meeting. The knave did not...
So that means we bought ourselves some time!
Firstly, and secondly...
Isn't it just fun?
I would not define... Early in Fontaine's, the Fortress of Meripede may seem like a prison. All we do, although I do have...
Oh!
Correct. So, are you two willing to accept my proposal?
Yeah.
You two have my... We will rendezvous.
Prepared ourselves?
Perhaps you could enjoy a good...
Oh, right! Even though... On second thought, is it too late to back out?
Please do not worry. You will be
Now that's what...
Are you leaving now? In that case, please take...
Paimon will have that, and that. Oh, and one of those too. And no Fontaine, thank you. That cake was pretty good. But now that Paimon thinks about it, we've always been super careful, but he...
Oh, what is that I hear? Is it the taste of a break?
Hey, you can't...
Oh, don't remind me. I invited an eyewitness to a case to eat here. I was planning to get some great material out of him, but he didn't even show up. Calm down, calm down. This is nothing new. As a journalist, you should be used to this by now. As long as you can score some juicy...
you know we...
I never...
No way! We would never... Oh no, Paimon almost forgot that Neverlet told us to keep it a secret!
Huh? You're being arrested for that? Oh, but now that I think about it, I suppose that's not completely unreasonable. That's pretty despicable. Almost as offensive as...
You mean Paimon really did something that serious? Sorry.
Well, in that case, it's nothing particularly newsworthy after all. Oh, right.
About that, Paimon doesn't think we'll have any time.
Oh, it's nothing different. He was awarded. On top of that, the if I...
You make...
Of course. I wouldn't ask you to...
All right, you got it.
Then it's settled. The food should be here any second, right? Huh? Wait, just how much did you order?
All right, Neverlet, we're ready.
You have come, just as promised. Yes, this is the one and only entrance to the Fortress of Meripede from Irenaeus. Careful, you may want to step...
Whoa, so you have to...
Utilizing both, but do not worry. It's not near... Oh, and there's one more thing.
Yeah, we heard it.
Correct. The Duke rarely ever leaves the Fortress of Meripede, but that doesn't... All right, it's about...
Don't worry,
Good.
I'm here. Please follow me, you...
Time to go.
Are we already underwater now? Huh. So this is what it feels like to be a criminal in Fontaine.
You two seem to be taking this pretty well. It's rare to see convicts in such a good mood. Monsieur Nervalet personally requested.
Well, now.
Well, have you tried?
Yeah, right. Even if I did smile at them, the convicts would probably just think,
oh, she's got.
Well, I've finished transferring you. You two will register here, and Mirette will guide you through the remaining procedures.
Yep. Okay, let me see. You are the Traveler and Pipe.
That would be us!
Let me confirm you're eating a cakes.
Huh? Wait!
Just looking at the charges. And considering how fond Lady Furina is of sweets, this crime is... Now I've seen everything. Please stand in...
All right!
And we're done. Thank you for your cooperation. Next, some...
Huh? Rebirth?
You two are the new inmates, right?
Oh, okay! Hi,
Save it. Not like...
So, are you one of the guards here? Is there anything we should be careful of while we're here?
Why should I tell you anything? This is exactly why I can't stand you fish. I wouldn't even be doing this if it weren't for the credit coupons.
Credit coupon?
Alright, seeing as you're not the annoying kind that's getting dragged in here crying and blubbering, Mora means nothing here. Coupons...
So, credit coupon?
It's not as simple as that. No matter how much money or power you had before, everyone starts from... I guess that's the real and this is also exactly why so many criminals choose not to return to the outside world.
Oh, so...
It certainly ain't all sunshine and roses here, but it's also not the worst place to be. You better after being away from... Oh, I'm actually an inmate like you two. Welcoming newcomers is a job I've picked up to earn some extra coupons.
Why didn't you answer?
I've told you enough.
So, you can't...
Almost there. It's down through here.